Hi Stampers, it's Pat Fairless with Fairless Stamp and Flair. And today I'm here with Connect to Create. Connect to Create is a collaboration between myself and a fellow demonstrator, Kathy Ondas, and a good friend. And Kathy is from Simply Cards by Kathy, so I hope you check her out as well. Our goal is to each week provide you a video to teach you maybe a new technique or remind you of an old one that you've forgotten about. So today I have a really fun one that I'm going to share with you. It's called the rolling marbles technique, or I a lot of times refer to it as losing my marbles, because most days I feel like I'm losing my marbles, but hopefully not today, and I hope this goes well. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to switch my camera down and we will get going. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to show you is the techniques that, or not the techniques, but the tools that you'll need for this technique. And they're actually not very many. Obviously, since it's called rolling marbles, you need some marbles, and they won't stay on my table. You need some re-inker. You need a container that will hold your marbles. Doesn't matter what kind of container you use, it just needs to be large enough so that when you place your paper in it, you have some room around the outside of your cardstock. And I'm going to use shimmery white cardstock today. I like how it looks, and it tends to manage the ink pretty well as you roll your marbles through it and onto the cardstock. So the first thing I usually do is I like to add a little bit of temporary adhesive on the back of my cardstock so that it will stick down and not move around as I'm rolling the marbles. Stampin' Up! Used to sell temporary adhesive. We don't anymore. I found that one on Amazon. It works well. It's very similar to what Stampin' Up! Used to have. So then the next step is you take your re-inker, and I'm going to use Pool Party here to start with. And let me get my marbles out just for a minute, and I drop maybe 3 drops of ink somewhere in the container, not on the paper. You want it outside the paper. And then lay your marbles in the area where the ink, and you're going to roll your marbles back and forth just a bit to try to get some of the ink collected on the marbles. And we'll go down here and get some on the other side. Get that one on there, and then you just start rolling your marbles across the paper. And continue rolling them. You can try to steer them if you want. Sometimes they catch on the edge a little bit. Don't want to go where you want, as you can see. You really don't have a whole lot of control, so it's just fun to see what happens. Sometimes you have to go back to the edge and pick up some more ink. And I'm trying to get that big blank spot there, and it really, there we go. Sometimes the marbles don't go where you want them to, like today. Right there. Well, that's going to have to do. So now I'm going to take my cardstock out of here. And what I would normally do is I would just go to the sink, wash this out. But rather than have you wait for me to do that, I have another tray. So I'm just going to switch trays for the next color. And I'll bring that in here. And my sticky is still on the back of my cardstock, so I can just lay that in there again. I'll just leave my, and this time I'm going to use Sweet Sorbet. And we'll add a few drops. Again, it doesn't take much. I don't know why I always put some on all sides, but for some reason, it's just what I do. It doesn't really matter. You just need to get ink on your marbles. So again, try to collect some ink around on your marble. go down the other side, get some more ink, and start rolling back and forth across the cardstock. And if you can, once you get on there, you can make circles, zigzags. Isn't it fun? It's so simple. All right, I like it. We're going to call that color done, Sweet Sorbet, and I'm going to add a third color. Again, it doesn't matter what color you use. Pick your favorite colors. I usually like to start with, I usually use 3, but you could use 3 that are like all different colors of blue, and you'd have a monochromatic background, which is fun. Pick some 3 primary colors, yellow, red, green, or is it yellow, red, blue? Yellow, red, blue, and be something very cute for kids. So, and again, I'm just going to repeat. I'm going to get some ink on my marbles down here, and we'll roll across the paper and get some ink from down here. And you can see sometimes the lines are heavier, sometimes they're thinner. And that is all there is to this technique. You can put as much or as little as you want. I like to leave plenty of white space. So that's actually my completed background. It doesn't get much easier than that, does it? So now I'm going to show you a card that I made using this background. And this card was made with the candy cane stamp set and the candy cane dies from the mini catalog. The name of the stamp set is Sweet Candy Canes. And so I took this piece and I cut it into 2 different pieces, and I made this fun fold card. Cute. So you can make your piece of paper. One thing I could mention is I usually like to start with a half a sheet, and you can make a die cut out of this. You can do like I did with this one. I cut it down into 2 pieces, this one here and then the little tab over here. I could have put the background, whatever you like. It's just a way to make a new, fun, interesting, and quick and easy background. Now the other card, I have one more card I'm going to share with you. This card, I used the Harvest stamp set. And the colors on here were Cajun Craze, Sahara Sand, and So Saffron is on this background. And I just used a full sheet again. I covered up a simple circle out of vellum so I could still see it through, but it softened it a little bit there, and put a stalk of wheat and some sunflowers on there. So that's my 2 cards for you today. I hope you like that technique. It's fun, it's simple, it's quick, and I hope you'll give it a try. So let's flip back over here. All right. I hope you like that. Isn't it fun? It's easy. It's you can do whatever colors, and no background is going to look the same, but it just adds a bit of whimsy to your card and something that's easy to do. So I hope you enjoyed that. Have a great week. Kathy will be back next week with a fun new technique. And if you ever have any questions, please leave a question in the comments, and we will try to answer those as quickly as possible. And we'd love to hear what you think about it. Have a great day.